So the CW loses its current Batwoman. Holy shit. Let's talk about it. Okay, so I waited a little bit to kind of get some kind of information on this before I talked about it. The CW is currently losing the woman who is playing Batwoman. Ruby Rose is leaving the show, and to my knowledge, this is the first time that I have heard about this happening in a CW show. Usually, these main cast members that they get, as far as I know, she is the only one, a main cast member, that has gone into a role and left the show. It had to be recast. Now, a couple of things. One, since I've never talked about this show much, and I've never talked about the actress, and I've never had my chance to, quote, complain about things or talk about its wokeness or whatever you think that I might have a reason to complain about, I only saw the first episode of season 1 and then decided that I would wait for the entire season to finish, and then I would binge watch the entire season, then I would get an idea of what I felt about the show. So, the only thing I really know is that people complained about it. And that the actress's name is Ruby Rose. Let me just go on record here as saying your name is awesome. Her name is awesome. Like, she sounds like she could have been the lead protagonist for an anime or some video game or something like that. That name is cool. Okay. Now, evidently, and I found this current news on IGN, but I've also seen it on other websites as well. It's becoming a very prevalent thing. And since I'm seeing that it's recorded quite commonly right now, that I'm seeing it pop up on a bunch of different websites, that this seems to be the confirmed reason that she left. She has left the show because she doesn't like the hours. All right. Here's the thing. I understand this, and yet I do have to call her out on something. Now, she seems fairly young to me. I'm not going to try to guess her age or anything like that, but she seems fairly young to me, so maybe, just maybe, as she's really booting up her career and getting out there and going run, like, maybe she didn't realize that TV shows kind of work like this, but like, when you were growing up, and I guess not everybody is like me, but when you were growing up, you never saw interviews with people that did like shows on television, because doing a type of sitcom or big show like, say, Star Trek The Next Generation, those people would work 14-hour days constantly. And the whole reason the show ended up shaping out the way that it did later on, where sometimes Data would get an episode to himself and you would not see Deanna Troi at all, the reason that kind of stuff was happening is so that the actors could have days off. So they might have like 3 days off because this episode primarily focuses on Data and Picard. So that way the other actors had a chance to cut out for a while and then come back rejuvenated and go back to work, because these were long working days. And to my knowledge, this is not uncommon when we talk about television and production, especially a weekly show. And if I know this, and I'm not an actor, or like, how did you not know this? Like, I would almost expect it. I wouldn't like it, mind you, just like you, because I don't like to feel like my work is my 24-hour-a-day life. I have to have something else. I have to be able to indulge in my fandom and do the things I want to do. And that's part of the reason why things like this show sometimes take a back seat to my busy lifestyle. Sometimes I have to watch my kids, sometimes I have to mow my lawn, sometimes I have to fix my house, sometimes I have to do things that I have to do on top of being gone 10 hours a day from my normal life, because I have to go to work. So when I think about the idea that as an actor you would have to work sometimes 14 hours a day for like 6 days a week, and then you'd basically sleep all day on your Sunday or whatever and go right back in, like that is excruciating. And to think that some of these people spend like 4 hours in the makeup chair every morning, so they have to come in earlier. They'll have to be there 2 hours earlier than most of the others because they have a role that requires makeup and design. This kind of stuff happens on production, and I know this. Why didn't she know this? That's my thing here. Now, aside from me critiquing that she should have known what she was getting into before she got into it, I understand where she's coming from. If she is unhappy with the amount of hours that it is going to take for her to do this show, and she wants to walk away, that makes a lot of sense. And I would prefer that she do that, because the integrity that she has here, I'm going to sing its praise a bit. You could say that she's a quitter, or you could be mad and say she couldn't hack it or something like that, but I'm going to tell you that she realized that this filming process was not making her happy. She was not enjoying the thing that she was doing. And she decided to walk away from it. And whatever comes her way after this, I really hope that it's good stuff. Because I like the fact that she had the integrity to appreciate the art that she was creating enough to walk away from it when she realized that her attitude was shifting from where she was. Because, let's say the show is really good. I already told you I haven't watched it yet. You can't maintain that level if you start to burn out. And we've seen this in shows before where obviously the actors just stop caring at certain points and it drags down, or you could see where their personal life is interfering on certain parts of their acting, and that hurts what you're trying to create. So if she's ready to move on, and she's giving them more than enough notice, and this is not a cutout, and we're going to get somebody else in the role, I'm fine with it. How they're going to explain it, I don't know. That's about the only problem I seem to have here. Now, what would be cool is if we have a Batwoman show, and if at the, what I would have done is when I introduced Hush, and now that I'm introducing Batman, because that's a thing, we now have an actor that represents Batman, what I would have done if I was them, is I would take Batwoman and I would cause a situation where she decides that she is leaving for a while. Maybe she tells Bruce in the season finale, I think I understand why you had to walk away for a while. Okay, now she does that. She cuts out, and we change the logo. We change this idea. And Batman says, I'm not exactly ready to come back either. Got to get myself back into shape. Got to put myself back where I need to be. This isn't the kind of business you just step right back into and you don't go in rusty. Make one mistake and you're dead. Make one mistake and someone else is dead. But I might have somebody that can look after things while we're gone. Now, let's say that her and him leave the show, and we bring in Barbara Gordon, and we start Batgirl. We run with a Batgirl motif for a full season. And then we allow Ruby Rose to make decisions where if she would like to come back from time to time as Batwoman, we keep that open for her to make reoccurrences continuously, that she's off doing something else. She's taking it a bit easier after the ordeal she's went through. And so then I would bring her in from time to time so we can keep the actress and keep the continuity, while at the same time we switch the show's logo to Batgirl. And we start running with a Batgirl show with a different actress to portray Batgirl, who's already deeper tied into the Bat family than Batwoman. So then we could start introducing things like Robin, and Robin. We could start introducing Nightwing. We could start introducing things like Spoiler and things of that nature and grow the Bat family around this guy who could come in later and start playing roles as Batman. Now, the reason we don't need to see Batman all the time, but we have an actor that can do it, is we use Batman when we need him. But we keep Batman in the idea that he is very much a loner, and they go to him from time to time, and he shows up from time to time, but he doesn't interfere in their garbage unless he feels he has to, and they don't interfere in his garbage out of respect for he doesn't want them there. This sets up the Batman character and sets up the era that we're sitting in. And it builds Batgirl, allows us to dive into the Bat family, saves the Batwoman character completely. This is what I would do. But hey, that's just me, and I'm nobody, and everybody knows that I'm nobody, so what do my ideas matter? And hey, that's the way it is. Anyways, thought this was interesting, and I'm going to give my praise to her. If she's walking away for the right reasons, it's a good thing, and at least she didn't hurt the show in the process of doing it, to my knowledge. I'm going to go back, and I, of course, will watch this show, and maybe at some point I'll come on and talk about what I think about it, but hey, that's what I got so far. That's what I wanted to come out here. Just a quick little what I would do, and I'm going to get out of here.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.